Obinna sat in his dark, empty apartment, gripping his own throat, begging himself to stop laughing. Tears burned his eyes, but his mouth stretched into a wide, painful grin. His chest ached, his ribs felt like they would snap, yet the laughter wouldn't stop. He had lost his job. His mother had died. His fiancée had run away. And through it all, he had laughed like a madman. Because that was the curse. And if he didn't break it soon, it would break him first. Many years ago, in the village of Ichie Okonkwo was the richest and most feared man. But he was also the most wicked. One day, a poor farmer named Papa Ebuka came to beg him for mercy. His land had been taken, and his family was starving. Ichie Okonkwo laughed. A loud, terrible laugh. "You want mercy? Then eat my laughter," he mocked. Papa Ebuka knelt and wept, but Ichie Okonkwo only laughed harder. The villagers watched in silence, too scared to interfere. Papa Ebuka, filled with anger and pain, stood up, wiped his tears, and whispered, "May your descendants never know peace. May they laugh at their own pain until death swallows them." That night, Papa Ebuka was found dead, his face twisted in a strange, mocking grin. And from that day, the curse began. Every first son in Ichie Okonkwo's bloodline would suffer great misfortunes, but instead of crying, they would laugh, a painful, haunting laughter they couldn't control. They would laugh when they were beaten, laugh when they lost loved ones, laugh even when they wanted to die. Many tried to fight it. Some tied their mouths shut. Others ran into the forest to escape their own madness. But none could stop the laughter. Present day, the last heir. Now, it was Obinna's turn. Obinna was a hard-working young man, struggling to make a life in the city. But no matter what he did, the curse followed. His mother, Mama Nena, died in a fire. He laughed at her funeral. He lost his job. He laughed in his boss's face. His fiancée, Edeora, left him at the altar. He collapsed, cackling like a madman. People called him insane. Even Obinna himself was afraid. He tried everything, prayers, fasting, even sealing his lips with glue. Nothing worked. One night, Obinna visited an old seer, Dibia Miwona. The man stared at him for a long time before whispering, "You cannot break the curse until you stop laughing." Obinna was confused. How could he stop when the laughter wasn't his? Then, the seer smiled and added, "Find Papa Ebuka's bloodline. Only they can forgive." Obinna hunted for months, searching for Papa Ebuka's descendants. But life didn't stop tormenting him. He got robbed. He laughed. He broke his leg. He howled with laughter. He was arrested for mocking a judge. In court, he giggled in handcuffs. He was tired. He wanted to die. But even then, he feared dying with laughter. At last, he found Papa Ebuka's last living relative, Mama Amoka, an old blind woman in a remote village. Obinna knelt before her, shaking. "Mama, please, forgive my ancestors. End this curse." Mama Amoka touched his face and sighed. "Oh, so you are the one." Then, to Obinna's horror, Mama Amoka began to laugh. A deep, throaty, wicked laugh. It echoed through the hut. Obinna screamed, "No! Not you too." The old woman finally stopped. She wiped her eyes and said, "Did you think forgiveness was free?" Obinna felt cold. "What do you want?" Mama Amoka grinned. "I want to watch you cry. The true breaking of the curse." For the first time in his life, Obinna tried to cry. He thought about his mother, his pain, his loneliness, his wasted years. He wanted to weep. He wanted to break. But the laughter inside him refused. Mama Amoka watched, waiting. "You must feel it. If you don't, the curse will never leave." Obinna clenched his fist, shaking. He thought about Ichie Okonkwo, about the greed, the wickedness. Then, suddenly, tears fell. First, a drop. Then a stream. Then Obinna broke down, sobbing like a child. The laughter inside him screamed, fighting to take over. But he kept crying. Harder. Louder. Until. Silence. For the first time in centuries, the curse was gone. Obinna stood up, breathing hard. He wiped his face and smiled, a real smile. But Mama Amoka. She was now the one laughing. "Oh, my dear," she wheezed. "You cried, yes, but did I say the curse was only for you?" Obinna froze. His blood turned to ice. Mama Amoka's laughter grew louder. And louder. And louder. The curse had changed hands. And this time, it had no end.